Hello and welcome back. Today I am making something a little different. I don't think I've ever made one on the channel before. At any rate, this is a very tiny skull mold that is meant for like chocolates, candies, gummies, whatever. But I'm doing something different. I have given it a very light spray of silicone release spray because I don't know if how it's gonna react, because I'm going to be making little tiny silicone inlays out of these skulls. So what I have here is 2 ounces of my silicone rubber mix. This is actually not my normal brand. Normally I use Let's Resin, but I am out of it, so I am using the J Diction that I've had for a while, that I just kind of want to, use all of because I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to go through, very boring, very meh, just going to go through and pour silicone in the mold. One thing that I do have, though, that I do want to use is the mold, which I got on Amazon, which the link will be in the description. Came with is this little squeezy whopper, booger sucker. It's a little squeezy thingy. So I'm going to use that to see if I can make it a little easier to put the silicone into these little molds. But if it gets too annoying, I'm not going to use it, because it looks like it is kicking up a bunch of bubbles, and I'm not particularly fond of that. So, and it just fell apart. So, plan B, she said. So again, like I said, 2 ounces of silicone mix in here. So I'm just going to go filling these up until I run out of silicone. And these little molds came in a set of 2. So there's 2 of these brown sheets of skulls. Okay, so 2 ounces filled up. See, there's 40 in here, so there's 8 in each. So 3 times 8 is 24, 25, 26. So 26 of the little cavities. So 26 divided by 2 is 13. I don't really know what significance that has, but excuse me. They're very small. And so I am just going to let these set. No heat mat, no nothing, just let them set. And yeah, we will see what happens if they stick. If they don't, it's going to be an exciting reveal. Woohoo! So at any rate, once these are done, then we'll move on with the next step. And you can see what madness I have planned. See you soon. 4 hours later. So yeah, it's been 4 hours and they're done. Poke, 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 poke. So we're gonna see if I can get these things out. So any positive thoughts, prayers, zen, happy vibes, whatever, yeah, send them out. Oh, here we go. Look at that! We have a tiny skull! Hello! Awesome. Alright, so they're a wee bit sticky, but boy are they just popping out of that mold like they don't want to be there. Some of them turned out great. Some of them, you know, check it out. Some of them turned out really cool. Some of them didn't. But anyway, so now we have a small herd of silicone skulls. I'm going to let these probably sit overnight just to give them a chance to really, you know, firm up and solidify and whatnot out of the mold so they can air dry, if you will. But I have a bunch of tiny little silicone skulls. So yeah, so we will see tomorrow what happens, and we can move on to next steps. So I'll see you then. And we're back. So we have our herd of skulls. I have 6 ounces of my Fuytim 1:1. I have a square mold over here. And I'm going to be adding to my resin my About metallic alcohol ink in silver. Okay, so now that that's all stirred in, get my mold. You can see that it's in its little wooden house that came with it, so it doesn't lose its shape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place in our little skulls into the mold as evenly as I can. And I think I have like 27 skulls, so I should be able to do mini rows of 5. So I will probably do 4 rows of 5. And if they're not perfectly straight, I'm fine with that. Gives it character. Of course, you guys are probably looking at it from above going, that's not straight, Rev. Yeah, I know. I'm doing my best. Unfortunately, right now I can't feel my hands, so I'm doing the best that I can. Well, I say that. I can feel them, sort of. I know that I'm picking something up, and it's not neuropathy, so don't worry about that. It's actually a condition called tardive dyskinesia. That is the result, or a side effect of, being on psychiatric medications for the majority of my life. And it's an odd side effect, but it's the only thing that they can come up with as to the reason why. So they thought it was my anemia, then they decided, no, it's not the anemia. Then they were like, well, maybe your diabetes came back. No, diabetes didn't come back, still not diabetic. I went into diabetic remission 14 years ago when I had gastric bypass surgery. And lost right at 200 pounds. So oddly enough, the only time that my blood sugar ever decides to go up slightly is when I'm on antibiotics, which is weird. Thankfully, I'm not on antibiotics very often. Okay, smushing down my skulls. So we have 4 rows of 5 for all of us mathematically disinclined people. It's 20. So let's go ahead. Well, those aren't straight, are they? Yeah, well. I'm going to get the glaringly obvious ones. Meh, good enough. So I have 6 ounces here of resin. I don't know if this is going to be enough. I've never poured this square before. So we are just going to find out when we get there. And if I need to pour more, I will make more and pour it. All right, so I'm just going to go in here and make sure that all of our little eyeballs or eye sockets or whatever are covered. Get up above it here. Looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and lightly run over it with a tiny torch, barely. And then with my alcohol. So I will chase bubbles on this for a while, and as soon as it is done, we will demold. So I will see you and you and you and you and you soon. Okay, it's time to demold. So let's see what we've got here. Wow, is it just coming smooth out? Hey, hey, look at that. Woo, clean. All right. So, with the inlays still in, that looks really cool. Yeah, so let's get them out. Subtly spooky. Look, I'm going to find a piece of darker paper so you can see it better. I think I'm gonna backfill them with some sort of like chameleon powder or something, you know, just I don't know. What do you guys think? See, this is where I need to have like you guys here with me so you can say, yes, Rev, do it, or no, leave it like it is. But it's, you know, it's all of these little cavities on the back that I just feel like I need to do something with. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to Not, not the intense chameleons or anything like that. I think I'm going to do another interference, or an interference, just so it doesn't look, you know, too stark, that it's still subtly spooky, you know? So I think I'm going to dust them in Interference Violet, and then go back in. Oh, wow, I've never used this one. Holy cow. I could have sworn that I had used this one before, but apparently not. So let's crack it open. Yay! So, yeah. Let's get a wipey device. My high-tech wiping device. Still has some blue chameleon powder left over on it. So I'm just going to go in and dust them with the Interference Violet, and then we can back them in something equally as subtle. If I can get as much coverage as I can, then yay. So what I'm going to do is, I have no idea how much this is going to take just to fill in these little doodle bugs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some Fast Cure, probably just a couple of ounces, and hopefully that'll do it, and I will be right back. Okay, pivot. What I decided to do is, instead of white, I am backing it in silvery gray mica powder, not much, just a little bit, and I added just the slightest smidgen, just a hint of the Interference Violet, just to give it a little bit of something. So I am going to wipe off my stick so it's easier to clean, and go in and just very gingerly add my resin to the little cavities. Which one's little brains need more braining? Do-da. Rev is filling up her skulls. Do-da. Let's just hope it's not overfilled. Oh, do-da day. Okay. Alrighty, I think that's going to do it. So, since we don't have any silicone to worry about, I can use my tiny torch and get rid of bubbles. And then we will just wait, let these little dudes cure up, and yeah, I will see you when it's time to flip it over, since there's not really a demold. So, yay! See you soon. Here we are. It's done. Let's see how it turned out. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I like that a lot. Look at that purple. That is truly cool. Very subtly spooky. Let me get my light moving in a little bit more here so you can see. Very cool. So tiny little inlays of skulls. Very awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go around and trim around the edges. Or not trim, but you know, sand a little bit. But what I'm going to do is take my silver Let's Resin Chrome marker, and go around the edges. The only thing that I'm not happy about is with this mold, the edges, even with the little housing, the edges did get a little bit wibbly wobbly, but it's all right. Gives it character, right? So just go around the edges with a silver pen. And now we have a really cool little trivet or trinket tray, or just whatever, you know. I'll put some little feeties, little rubber feeties on the bottom of it, and it'll be really cool in the window with a candle behind it, LED candle, of course, for Halloween or spooky season or just any day. But yeah, so that's that. So I hope you guys like it, and thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Cheers.